You know what's interesting? The global egg market moves billions and billions every year. And guess who became the perfect target for that repeated message? People over 50. For decades, they've been told that eggs for breakfast are the cheapest and most efficient way to get protein and keep the body strong. But here's a detail almost no one talks about. For many people, especially with age, this has become an expensive habit. With little return, think about it simply. A single egg typically delivers around 6 to 7 grams of protein. Sounds good until you compare it to other options on the shelf that go unnoticed, have no advertising, and deliver 2, 3, 10, sometimes even 4 times more protein for the same money. And it's not just about protein. If the goal is to maintain muscle and firmness after 60, the body usually needs a complete package: minerals that support muscle contraction, healthy fats that aid recovery, nutrients that support bones and joints, and stable energy so you don't crash mid-morning. Eggs aren't villains. They can be part of the plan. But they're not the untouchable king we were promised. And when you actually do the math and look at what truly helps keep your body strong, you'll notice that many people are paying more and getting less. That's why today I'm going to show you 6 affordable, easy-to-find foods that can build muscle and support strength better than relying on eggs alone. I'll count them down from number 6 to number 1. And when you get to number 1, you'll understand why so many people ignore this kind of food. It's simple, effective, and doesn't bring the same profit for those selling the food of the moment. Before we dive in, tell me in the comments, what do you usually eat for breakfast, and how old are you? I love seeing responses from people in different places because routines vary a lot from country to country. But the goal is the same: to wake up with more energy, more firmness, and less of that feeling like your body is slipping through your fingers. Now let's get straight to it. Starting with number 6, you'll see why eggs on their own shouldn't be the center of your breakfast if the goal is strength and muscle. If you've never taken cottage cheese seriously, I get it. A lot of people think it's bland, that it's diet food, or that it's not filling. But for those over 50, it has a very practical advantage. It delivers high-quality protein and also provides calcium and other minerals that directly support strength and body structure. And here's an even more important point: the type of protein. Cottage cheese is rich in casein, a slower digesting protein. And why does that matter? Because after a full night without eating, the body wakes up in energy-saving mode, and muscles become more vulnerable. When you eat a protein that releases amino acids slowly, you provide a steady stream of building material to the body. It's not a quick spike, it's more like keeping the light on longer. Take Linda's story. She's 71, she did the basics, woke up, ate the eggs, and thought she was getting her protein. Still, she felt heavy in the legs mid-morning and found climbing stairs harder than it should have been. Then she started mixing it up. Instead of the same old breakfast, she added a portion of cottage cheese with fruit, sometimes with a spoonful of something crunchy on top. Nothing dramatic. In just a few weeks, she noticed a small but meaningful shift: less hunger mid-morning and more stability on short walks. What she thought was boring became a useful tool. And here comes a lesson: it's not just about protein, it's about protein plus what comes with it. Now, number 5, oats. Oats are one of those foods many people misjudge. Some think they're just carbs. Others think they're too light to help build strength. But oats have a great combo for anyone who wants muscle and stable energy. Yes, they offer protein, but they also contain fiber and minerals that help the body use that energy more efficiently over time. And for many people over 50, this matters. Fatigue doesn't come only from a lack of protein. It comes from energy spikes and crashes, from poor circulation, from the body not receiving nutrients steadily. The fiber in oats helps slow the release of energy. That prevents the crash that makes people want to snack on anything or pass out on the couch before lunch. Mark, 68, had that exact pattern. He'd have coffee and eggs for breakfast, and 2 hours later, his body felt like it was shutting down. Then he tried breakfast with oats and a source of protein nothing fancy. Noticed his mornings became smoother and more stable. No energy dip. And when your energy is steady, you move more, walk more, stand more often, and that slowly helps your muscles too. It's a chain reaction. Oats are a perfect example of something simple that marketing doesn't label as muscle food, but that helps your body function better overall. Now, number 4, chickpeas. Chickpeas may seem humble, but they hit 2 big issues common after 50: not enough protein, and too little fiber. They provide a solid amount of protein and fiber, which supports digestion, fullness, and steady energy. And here's another key point. They're packed with minerals like magnesium and potassium, which play a direct role in muscle contraction. A lot of people talk about muscle like it's just about hitting your protein goal, but muscles contract using electrical signals and minerals. Without those, your body may get protein, but won't use it well. Also, chickpeas have an interesting amino acid profile when combined with other everyday foods. For those who want to eat less meat, or for anyone who finds some proteins heavy on the stomach, chickpeas are a practical option. Take Robert's story. He's 74. He used to complain about mild cramps and that weak leg feeling after standing too long. He didn't overhaul his life, he just started including chickpeas a few times a week, mostly in the morning or at lunch. And he noticed two things. His digestion became more regular, and the cramps happened less often. And when your digestion runs more smoothly, you tend to feel lighter on your feet, which makes it easier to walk, move, and gradually rebuild strength. And here's something to notice. These foods aren't trendy. They don't come with shiny promises, but they're consistent. Now, number 3, peanut butter. A lot of people hesitate here for one reason. It's high in calories. And yes, it is more energy, but for many older adults, especially those who lose their appetite over time, that's actually a plus, because the challenge isn't just protein. It's getting enough total energy and nutrients to keep the body strong without having to eat huge amounts of food. Peanut butter delivers protein, but also healthy fats that help sustain energy and, for many people, make daily routines easier. Plus, it typically comes with vitamin E and magnesium, which support recovery and muscle function. And unlike a breakfast that spikes and crashes, this kind of combination tends to hold off hunger longer. Susan, 66, started noticing she felt weaker and didn't know why. She wasn't sick, was just eating less without realizing it. The solution wasn't a pricey supplement. It was adjusting her breakfast to make it more nutritious and easier to stick to. A small spoon of peanut butter on something simple a few days a week, and she noticed her hunger return to a regular rhythm and her energy became more stable throughout the day. Sometimes it's not about eating more, it's about eating smarter. Now, number 2, lentils. Lentils are truly one of the best cost-effective foods when it comes to protein. And what makes them even better for people over 50 is that they don't come alone. They bring iron, folate, and other nutrients tied to oxygen transport and that overall feeling of vitality. Here's something almost no one talks about. You can eat perfect protein, but if your body isn't efficiently delivering oxygen and energy to your muscles, you'll still feel tired. Walking remains hard, your legs still feel heavy. Lentils come in as a food that helps with building muscle and also fuels the engine that makes muscle work. Daniel, 73, used to say his issue was just old age. He thought heavy legs were inevitable. Then he started adding lentils to one meal a day, a few times a week, and noticed a small shift that changed everything. He could walk a bit farther before needing to stop. That builds confidence, and confidence gets people moving more. And movement, combined with protein and nutrients, is what really pushes muscle in the right direction. And now, number 1, canned sardines, especially the kind that come with soft, edible bones. Here's why they get overlooked. They're not fancy, there's no glamorous advertising, and many people have a bias against canned fish. But for a body over 50, they're almost a complete package. High-quality protein, plus healthy omega-3 fats, plus vitamin D in some cases, and calcium if you eat the bones. And that's huge, because after 50, it's not just muscle that matters, it's muscle and bone together. Real strength isn't just about lifting more weight. It's about having the structure to carry your own body weight with stability, with less discomfort, with less fear of falling, and with more confidence when climbing stairs. Omega-3 plays another role that many people notice firsthand. It can help reduce the background noise of inflammation, and when the body is less inflamed, recovery improves. Joints complain less, you move more. Again, it's a chain reaction. Anthony, 75, had that classic stiffness when getting up from a chair. He was the kind of guy who ate the same thing every day out of habit. But when he started adding sardines to a few meals each week, in the simplest way possible, he noticed something unexpected. Joint discomfort became less noticeable on some days, and he felt more willing to go for a walk in the afternoon. It wasn't magic. It was consistency, with a food that offers more than just protein. So when you put all of this together, the main message becomes clear. Eggs aren't the enemy. But they're also not the full solution. These 6 alternatives all have one thing in common. They do more for your body for the same money, often with more benefits per portion. And now that you know what they are, the next step is turning that into a real routine. Because just knowing a food's name doesn't change your body. What changes your body is how you use that information daily, without overcomplicating things, without relying on motivation, and with a simple, repeatable plan. In the next section, I'll show you practical ways to prepare these options and build a breakfast routine that truly supports strength and muscle, without becoming extra work. Now that you know what the alternatives are, here comes the part that really changes the game, turning it into a routine. Because at Dose and Tea matter, if you know the right foods, they don't show up in your real life in a simple way. Nothing changes. And the rule here is very straightforward. After 50, what works isn't perfection. It's repetition. It's what's easy to keep up with on a regular morning those days when you wake up without energy to get creative and just want something that gives you energy and helps you feel steady. So let me show you how to fit these foods in without making things complicated. And just a heads up, you don't need to use all 6. You only need to pick 2 or 3 that sit well with you, are easy to find where you live, and that you can repeat without stress. That's what leads to real results. Let's start with cottage cheese. Think of it as a neutral base that can adapt to your taste. If you prefer something sweet, you can scoop some into a bowl and add fruit on top. Nothing fancy. The goal is to make it tasty enough so you don't quit by day 3. If you're into savory flavors, it works great on a slice of whole grain bread with tomato, cucumber, or whatever simple seasoning you already use at home. The key strength here is that it tends to keep hunger away longer and fuels your body for more time, which really helps if you tend to crash mid. Now let's talk about oats. Lots of people eat oats, but eat them the wrong way and then complain that they don't provide energy. Oats on their own can just turn into a quick breakfast that spikes and crashes. The difference comes when you pair oats with a protein source. You can make them super simply with water or milk, then stir in some cottage cheese or a small spoonful of peanut butter. And if you're someone who doesn't like cooking early in the day, there's a perfect routine-friendly solution. Prep your oats the night before and leave them in the fridge. In the morning, you just grab and eat. That might seem small, but it removes decision-making, removes effort and increases your chances of sticking with it for weeks, not just days. Next, chickpeas. The trick here is turning them into something practical. Instead of thinking of chickpeas as just another thing to chew, think of them as a spread for toast. Hash them up, season them however you like, and done. You've got a base that's filling, satisfying, and super helpful, especially if you've been dealing with slow digestion. There's even a side effect. When digestion improves, people often feel lighter and more willing to move around, which again helps rebuild strength. Peanut butter works as a smart boost. It doesn't need to be the main part of breakfast. It's that little extra that makes the meal more complete without adding too much volume. For many people over 50, this is key, since appetite isn't always what it used to be. A single spoonful makes a difference. You can spread it on whole grain bread, mix it into oats, or even blend it into a smoothie if you prefer something quick. The most important thing here is keeping the portion consistent, because consistency is what lets you notice how your body responds. If one day you use too little, the next day too much, it's hard to spot the pattern. Lentils might seem like lunch food, but they slide into a routine super easily when you prep ahead. The simplest way: soup, make a pot, portion it out, and on mornings when you wake up extra hungry or when you just want something comforting, you already have a strong meal waiting for you. And if soup in the morning isn't your thing, no problem. Lentils also work great as a base for a simple bowl, paired with veggies and a drizzle of olive oil. And here's a reminder: breakfast doesn't have to follow cultural rules. It just needs to work for your body. Now for sardines become part of your routine when you simplify. It's not meant to be an evented. It's meant to be as easy as opening a can and assembling a quick meal. One of the most straightforward ways is to put sardines on a slice of whole grain bread with a squeeze of lemon. If you want something lighter, you can add a smaller portion to a basic salad. And if you're still getting used to the taste, mixing it with something creamy can help a lot. It changes the texture and softens the flavor. The key point here is that sardines don't just help muscle, they also support bones and joints. And that's exactly what many people notice first. Less complaining from the body when it's time to stand up, walk, or climb stairs. Now, to turn this into results, I want to give you 2 simple ways to organize your week without overthinking it. The first way is to rotate 3 options. You alternate between days with oats and a protein boost, days with whole grain bread and a protein base like cottage cheese or sardines, and days with legumes like mashed chickpeas or a portion of pre-cooked lentils. You don't need to do everything every day. You just need to repeat a simple pattern. The second method is even easier. Pick one anchor, something you know works for you, like oats or cottage cheese, and stick with that almost every day. What changes is the topping or side. One day you go sweet, another day savory, another day you add a spoonful of peanut butter, and another day you include a small portion of sardines. This reduces mental effort and increases your chances of sticking to the habit. Now here's an important part. In the first 2 weeks, don't focus on seeing muscle in the mirror. What you should pay attention to is what changes in real life. Does your energy last longer until lunch? Do you feel less of that mid-morning weakness? Is walking a little easier? Do you stand up from a chair with less stiffness? Do you climb stairs with more confidence? These are the signs that you refueling your body the right way and is starting to respond. Let me wrap this up with a simple, practical, and realistic proposal. Choose just one of these foods to try first. Use it for 7 days straight at breakfast, in the easiest way possible. You don't need perfection, you need repetition. Then, in the next week, try another one and compare how you feel. That's how you discover what works for your body. Not just for a theory. And tell me in the comments which one you'll try first. Cottage cheese, oats, chickpeas, peanut butter, lentils, or sardines. And if you want, share your biggest challenge right now. Is it low energy, weak legs, stiffness when getting up, cramps? Because when you share, you help others realize they're not alone. And sometimes, the change someone needs starts with this exact conversation. To close this out, I want you to hold on to one simple message, because it matters more than any detail in this video. The problem, ISNTU. It's not a lack of willpower, and it's not just age, as if that were a life sentence. What's really happening is that a lot of people spent decades hearing that, doing the basics repeating, the same breakfast was enough. But after 50, the body changes the rules. It doesn't respond well to just one piece of the puzzle. It needs the whole picture. Eggs can still be part of your life if you enjoy them, but they don't have to be the centerpiece, and they don't have to be your main bet. Because when you start including simple alternatives like cottage cheese, oats, chickpeas, peanut butter, lentils, and sardines, you stop depending on a single food and start fueling your body in a smarter way. That's when the real difference shows up, not just in the idea of muscle, but in real life, in the firmness of your legs, in your balance when walking, in the energy to do things without feeling like your body is dragging you down. And there's something a lot of people only notice after they start. Strength isn't just about looks. Strength is freedom. It's being able to carry your groceries without stopping halfway. It's going upstairs without thinking twice. It's getting up from a chair without having to negotiate with your own body. It's walking with more confidence. It's having energy to live your day instead of just pushing through it. And look how powerful this is. The solution doesn't lie in expensive supplements, internet trends, or miracle promises. It's in simple choices, repeated with intention. Everyday foods from the grocery store that fit your budget and deliver more than just protein. Because in the end, your body doesn't need a perfect food. It needs consistency, smart variety, and a breakfast that stops leaving you in survival mode and starts putting you in rebuild mode. So here's a direct invitation. Don't try to change everything tomorrow. Pick just one of these options and test it for a week, the easiest way possible. No complicated recipes, no pressure, no perfectionism. Then try another the next week. And while you do that, pay attention to what actually changes. How your energy feels before lunch, how your legs feel during a walk, how it feels to get up, whether the stiffness starts to fade, whether you feel more stable. These signs matter way more than any random number. Now tell me in the comments, which one will you try first for breakfast? And if you can, also share your age and what you usually eat now. I read those replies because they show something no one should forget. A lot of people are trying to regain strength in silence, thinking they're alone. And when you speak up, you might help someone else take their first step too. If this video gave you a practical idea, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you want more content like this, simple steps, real-life routines, then yes, it's worth subscribing. Because tomorrow morning doesn't have to be just another repeat. It can be the start of a stronger, steadier body that feels more like yours again.